But yeah, there's certain people like we've talked about that, like, man, we love them, admire them. I'm not gonna say their names, but they got such an audacity and an air about them. Yeah. That dude's a dick. That dude's an asshole. But I love him. Don't want to meet him. Don't want to hang out with him.
Yeah, love his music.
Yeah, I know what he's gonna be like.
Yeah, I love his music.
I love his audacity. I love that but now I don't want no part of that.
Let's fucking roll.
All right, here we go, boys. Welcome back to McBastard Studio. I'm Brad Banyas. You're listening to Salty Meth Goat Podcast. We're here today. We're really excited with Salty's live music. We have Will Moseley in band. So we have Will, Paul, and Benji, and they just cranked some killer songs. So, hey, guys, welcome to the show.
I'd like to correct, Paul's not a part of the band.
All right, here we go.
Other than that, how are y'all doing? You know what I mean?
All right, well, Paul is here as a very important representative. And Paul just had a baby, by the way, so congratulations.
Thank you.
To Paul.
He's almost all healed up.
And Paul's the only one wearing a good-looking hat here. So
that's right.
Well,
so guys, I mean, first of all, you guys are like brothers, and I love it. They've been giving each other shit the whole time, and it's amazing. Like, so how'd you guys, get together, and why are you here, and how did it happen?
This is a long one. You want to take this one, Paul, or you want me to?
You go for it, Will.
So, I started playing music in college and got a chance to open up for a local band that was playing in the town next to my hometown. And I jumped all over it and went and opened acoustic and met Paul for the first time there. He didn't remember that, that says what kind of person he is.
He had no beard. He had short hair.
he has made some massive appearance changes in the last.
Yeah, I put on like 50 pounds. But
no, I'm talking about facial hair.
I'm kidding. But so I met Paul there, and then Paul ran sound and handled everything for a bunch of local musicians at the time. And just so happened down the road, that group decided to take a break about the time we kind of started picking up. And so it just kind of worked out. Paul kind of fell in our lap. And it was, honestly, it's been huge because as far as production goes, we were all clueless. We could do good enough to get by, but, who wants to be good enough? And so that's how Paul come into the mix. And then Benji, I was in college, and me and Benji had went to the same church for a while. And I started working with Benji's dad. His dad was actually refinishing my dad's house. And so that's where I started working with him. And his dad was building cabinets and a bunch of stuff, like any kind of remodel, repair jobs, he did like a lot of that. And so I kind of started working with them for the summer. And me and Benji kind of got to be buddies through all of that. And I'd ask him questions about guitars and how to play them. And I still ain't figured that part out yet. And then it kind of went from there. I started playing some acoustic shows that I was like, hey, I don't even remember exactly how it worked out. I know we played the first time in Statesboro. I had a show there, and he was where he could come, and I was like, hey, you want to ride over and play the show? And so that's where that kind of started, and then it just progressed from there. He helped. I say he helped. He put together the first band that I ever played with.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I noticed, Benji, you didn't let him pick a guitar up.
No, that wasn't the case, man.
He told me to leave it in the case.
Now you
I love it. you know what I can tell, like when people are like gel and successful, like you got to have that kind of brotherhood, give each other shit kind of stuff. And when you guys came in and just started chopping at each other, I was like, yeah man, this is awesome. Like you got good synergy between each other. And Paul, you don't have to take their shit. Don't.
I don't.
He does.
I do.
He's so good. No, when Paul came along, he had a production company and all. We had just started with the band, and I was doing it and playing with Will because I hadn't played in a long time, and I had other things at the beginning of us getting together. But I was doing it because I loved it, and I got a chance to play guitar again and start doing it because I'd played earlier in my life, and it was fun and exciting. And there was never we could do this for a living. It was never that. It was,
Yeah.
hey, this is fun. And then Paul came along. It was the same thing. Hey, this is fun. It's fun being around. And this whole thing, never once really has it been we could make a lot of money at this. It's always, dude, it would be funner if we did this next bigger thing together.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, luckily it has developed into this thing where we're kind of doing this for a living, ain't we?
Yeah, you've done a pretty good job doing that.
Yeah.
But isn't it like that? Like I feel like some of the things you do in life that like really turn into something is like you didn't intend to do it.
Yeah.
Like you had some knowledge of what the hell you were doing, but like you're just like, yeah, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Open Heart Media, the guys that run our production here, you know, Zach and team. I mean, photography with Austin. I didn't know. I don't. A podcast guy. I know shit about this stuff, you know, but I wanted to talk to people and wanted to do it. So I think good things come out of just genuineness.
Absolutely.
It's just genuine.
That's our whole crew's like that. Barnett, he's with us. He's on our crew, the band and all. And that's really what the bulk of us, what we're here for is, you know what? When we get to go away for several days and ride and weeks and we're on tour and we're doing all this stuff and we're together, like when it's just you alone going to a new town or new city or a new thing that you've never done, and then you don't know how these people are. They're strange people everywhere, and you got to learn to adapt and okay, who's who.
Yeah.
But when you go with your own crew and you ain't worried about nothing,
absolutely.
they don't want to mess with your crew because how tight you are, and then everybody wants to be a part of that, and it's fun.
It's like it's hard too. I know, like even going to what Benji was saying, like when you get some quick success, you know, you see people that kind of like they lose that. They start, hey, it's about me, kind of lose that. And I just don't feel that like with you guys. I mean, I feel like it's just like tight. That's awesome. So,
Yep. You know, I think like talking to some of the bigger artists and you go to asking questions about like, well, what's the biggest thing to look for? What's this? Like when you're bringing on new people, because like when we started, it was just me and Benji, and then Benji found some guys to play in the first band we put together, and it grew to that size. And then it was like, well, Paul could come on and help, and we could do it even bigger. And so Paul comes in, and then it's like, wait, we're moving way too much equipment for us to be doing it night in and night out.
Yeah.
What about these guys? They could come help, you know? And so like for me, I was asking anybody that would answer a question, I'd ask them anything I had on my mind. And so, you know, at some point I asked a couple of different people about it. Like, what's the biggest thing to look for when you're bringing on new people?
yeah.
And they were like, look, there's a bunch of people out there that can do any job. They were like, but you've got to find a good hang. Yeah. And we didn't even realize it at the time, but that was the whole point. Because it's like Benji said, you know, it was never about, for us, I guess it was never about like, oh, we're fixing to do this for a living. Yeah. It was just like, hey, this is fun. Like we can go play the bars on the weekends. Our friends will come out. It's a good time. So like at that point, it was like, if he wasn't a good hang, then that was really about all we were looking for at that, you know, that point. And that's what's kept all of us together this, you know, this long, and will be for forever. I mean, I don't see that changing any time, because we just, I mean, now nobody's safe in the group.
Yeah.
For sure. Nobody's safe, from the oldest to the youngest member.
Safe.
And that's the coolest part about it, is I'm the youngest.
Yeah.
So,
But he's the boss, so there's a certain degree of respect you got to kind of keep.
it's kind of awkward. It's kind of awkward being the youngest guy there and then everybody looking at you, you know, but it's like, all right.
But that's also, it's an understanding of this crew and this much fun, this all that we got, and all this understanding. There's still the underlying main factor of our mission purpose or of what we're doing is Will's voice.
Yeah.
Will's singing like that. You know, the sound, the music we make, and all. It's like that has to matter.
Absolutely.
And without that, then this ain't happening at all.
Yeah,
You know,
but
we can do a lot of things with us, but without these songs, without his style of singing, without the way that he does it, like what are we doing then?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we've talked about this a lot on this stuff, because, you know, we talk to all kinds of people, right? I mean, we're not just talking to musicians, but I think people are looking for stuff that's authentic and genuine, right? And relationships are as authentic and genuine as you can get.
Absolutely.
Right. And there's you know, what we've learned on this, which I'm totally shocked. Like I was telling you guys some stories outside. There's a lot of damn talented musicians. like you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, why are you not famous? Like, it's from my perspective, it's weird because I didn't think, well, maybe all these guys that they have at the top are really the best they are. But then you're like, oh shit. Well, I'd never heard of Will until they introduced like last year. And I'm like, holy shit, this guy's amazing. Like you don't realize, I think talent you obviously have to have talent.
Yeah. Sure.
Everybody has to have talent, but there's something different that I think if you bring, you bring that friendship, that loyalty, that whatever. Mm-hmm. Real people do respect that, like, because they want that. They want that genuineness. They want that connection. Because a lot of people are flying around the world like clueless.
Yeah.
They need some anchor.
It's humbling for us, for sure.
Yeah.
We walk into places all the time and see people, and it's like, damn, like that's good.
Yeah.
They're good. And then you go and look, and it's like, wait, they're
It changes when they, the thing to me about that changes is who are they when they're not out there using their talent.
Yeah.
If it's an asshole, and he's great until you get to meet him. And then you go to meet him,
Nobody likes an asshole.
Man, come on, guy.
Benji, no one likes an asshole.
Well, I mean, but there are certain perks to being an asshole. You don't have to care, But there's certain people like we've talked about that, like, man, we love them, admire them. I'm not gonna say their names, but they got such an audacity and an air about them. That dude's a dick. That dude's an asshole. But I love him. Don't want to meet him. Don't want to hang out with him.
Yeah.
I know
Love his music.
Yeah, I know what he's gonna be like.
Yeah, love his music.
I love his audacity. I love that but now I don't want no part of that.
Yeah, it's funny, man. Life's humbling. You start watching people die around you and stuff, and you start to really understand your mortality. That we're lucky to have a day and lucky to be able to be sitting here doing this kind of stuff. Because tomorrow may be different. You start taking a different perspective of life, and that changes kind of. You're like, dude, I'm gonna live today. Today's awesome. This is awesome. Today's awesome. People forget
That's
that.
what's great about these guys too is we've been with a lot of talented artists, a lot of huge artists, and some of them won't even talk to us. It's with these guys. I mean, I've even put Apple AirTags in some of their pockets because they'll be off talking to everyone in the crowd.
That ain't no lie.
And that's not a lie.
He issued them out at a show one time. Every one of y'all got one.
But they'll talk to everybody. And some of the venues, when we speak to them to advance the show, we've got to be like, okay, so pre-show, we've got to have a space where we can keep these guys, because otherwise he'll lose his voice because he's talking to 500 or 1,000 people, and we've lost Josh at the back nine. Benji's on top of a roof. Barnett's trying to coach him down. So, but it's the realness of it. We're everyday people. I mean,
I love it.
We tagging on to kind of what we're talking about. Last weekend, Paul kind of put on a show, and Confederate Railroad was there. And afterwards, we got to talk just like that. All the Marshall Tucker Band and Zach Brown has been so good to like all these people. We've got meet and talk and sit down with Marcus King, with Charlie Starr, with all these great people, and we get to ask them stuff. But the last thing that pops in my mind is Mark, the drummer with Confederate Railroad, the other weekend. We asked him, like, "Hey, what kind of advice have you got? What kind of what would you pass on?" He said something I've never thought about. He said, the saying, "Don't meet your heroes." Like, yeah, of course. Like, yeah, okay, we won't do that. He goes, no, don't be that hero. Don't be that guy that gets tired of signing. It gets tired. Just don't be that guy. Like, if you get a chance to be somebody's hero, just if you got to fake it because you feel bad, just don't be that asshole.
Well, to be honest with you, it's kind of hard, but like, without fans, without customers, you ain't shit. Mm-mm. I mean, we can all sit here and say, "Oh, look at me behind some, $5 plastic light, whatever." I don't mean shit. I mean, we don't have fans, we don't have customers. That means nothing. Because I see that a lot of the things I see with the musicians, they're not known. They would have fans. Like, if we could get them out there, like, people would listen to them. So I think that's good advice. Good job. Kudos to you on that. Don't be the hero.
Yeah, don't be that guy. But and that's the other thing. Like, his ability and stamina from the beginning, even before the show came up, even before all of that, the willingness and the irritation of finishing a gig at 1 o'clock, but we're out there at 4:30 because there's still a drunk dude just gnawing Will's ear off, and he's sitting there smiling, talking until they're done, And still now,
Well,
that's what to me it like irritates me about the whole you can buy a meet and greet. Why? He's gonna be at the merch table till everybody's done every single night.
It's free. Just come talk to Will. It's
And
free.
but that's the thing is that's so good. That's so good that
that's
there's
why people love
no
him,
air
though.
of irritating. Oh, here's people or somebody sees him recognized from the show in a place, and there's no big rush. It's well. Okay, this is par for the course. It's going to take a little bit longer to get fuel at this
Well,
stop.
but Will's still a young man. I mean, no offense, Benji, you're not an old guy, but I mean, he's still a young man.
Oh, yes, I am.
Well, I'm old compared to you, but I mean, yeah, that's awesome. But I think people remember that. A kid will remember that. Somebody will remember that.
Absolutely.
I used to love that Mean Joe Green. I think it was like a Coke or was it a Miller Lite ad? I don't know. Where Mean Joe Green gave the kid his jersey. You ever see that? I'm old, but people don't even know who the hell Mean Joe Green is. But anyways, it's an NFL guy. He gave it was like a Coke commercial or some shit like that. We're not sponsoring Coke anyway. I don't drink Coke. But anyways, he gave the kid his jersey, and it was just like a cool thing because it's just like here's these people that, and it's not like you don't have to. You damn should.
Exactly.
It's not that you have to, and it shouldn't be a promo thing. You should do it. And if you're an angry person, great.
So Hazelhurst has like 5,000 people in it, and after I come off the show, anywhere you go to eat or any store you go in or whatever, especially right after the show, it was a lot more than it is now because there's only 5,000 people there, and I've met most of them at this point. But I had somebody ask me, they were like, we were sitting there eating, and somebody come up, and I took a picture, and they, went on, but I don't even remember who I was eating with, but they asked me, they were like, that don't get old? And I thought about it for a second. I was like, every one of those pictures that I take next time we play close by is a ticket that we sell.
Yep.
And it's like, that's literally what keeps us moving. I mean, that's what keeps us, that's what makes it possible for us to go play a show out of state or, and even in other states. That's the whole point of it. And that's something that like I've struggled with is like when people sell a meet and greet, what do I do in a meet and greet to make it different? What do I make it worth their money that I'm not going to do for everybody that showed up tonight at the merch table after the show's over?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of, it's a toss up and I've kind of noticed that a lot of people that buy a meet and greet really do it just to support you. I mean, so it don't hurt their feelings that you go to the merch table and do it anyway. You know what I mean? And so I've kind of come to that conclusion, I guess, but it's just it's a thing of if these people are going to show up and buy a ticket and help us fund the next song we record or fund the next order of shirts we buy to sell right back to them.
Absolutely.
Or
buy the motel room. Everybody takes a shower in that night.
Buy the motel room or buy the bus fuel or whatever. If they're going to fund that, there ain't really anything they can do that's wrong.
Yeah.
Whether it's ask for an autograph or interrupt you eating or, I mean, of course, I'm not fixing to sit here and act like I haven't ever thought of like, dang, I wish they could have waited till after I finished eating.
Yeah, exactly.
I was in a restaurant one time and the owner was in there and he spoke to me when I come in the restaurant and I went and sat down and ordered and I'm halfway through the first bite of a cheeseburger and he comes up with his phone and he takes a picture. And I was like, you had all this time and I would have stopped and done it after, like I'm not gonna act like I've never had that thought, but in reality, like, the person paying your bills really can't do any wrong. Yeah. There's not anything of.
Yeah. There's some courtesy.
There's courtesy and there's lines.
Hamburger, bro.
Of course, there's limitations and lines, but
something else that we've talked about though is there's also that degree of having to remind yourself, and some days we'll talk about riding down the road and kind of wake up and realize that there's. Yeah, that was a little out of line, or yeah, that was we're on a long run, and yeah, we're tired, and but there's other musicians that would kill to have these kind of problems.
Yeah,
they're not problems. They're just life.
Yeah,
there's people that would kill for this.
Yeah,
so that kind of just keeps you right back grounded. That's right.
Well, a year and a half ago, we were doing flatbed trailers in the middle of a chicken farm. I mean, that's
not a cool event though.
Loving it.
It was a cool
Stinky,
show.
but
sure. But yeah, I mean, you've got to give back, and if that's spending a little bit of time with your fans, then do it. They came up with a great idea about giving away guitars to.
I love it. I was going to ask you that
children.
next question. Yeah.
So
That's
if,
awesome.
if you want to tell them how you two thought about that one.
So I don't know. I was probably 16, and I was sitting at my house, and once you reach a certain age, like, it gets tough for your parents to find something to get you for Christmas. You know, me and my mom sitting there eating supper one night, and she said, "What do you want for Christmas?" And the TV's playing in the living room, and we're sitting at the bar, and the Keith Urban 30 Songs in 30 Days commercial pops up. So you pay the money, they send you a guitar, 30 CDs, you watch the DVD, you learn a chord, next day you learn another chord. By the end of the 30 days, you're supposed to be able to play 30 songs. I'm 16, never touched an instrument, never sang in front of anyone, never anything. And I was like, I'll take one of those. And she like turned around and looked at the TV, and she looked back at me, and she was like, "You serious?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's what I want for Christmas." I was like, "Does that fit my budget for Christmas presents?" And she was like, "Yeah."
That's awesome.
We rewinded the TV. She called the number, ordered it, had it shipped for Christmas. So I get it, and I started playing around with it a little bit when I got it for like a week. Put it in the closet. That was the one thing she told me. She was like, "If I buy you this for Christmas, you can't stick it in a closet." A week later, it's in a closet. Don't touch it. Then pick it back up 19, 20 while I'm in college, and started learning to play and trying to write songs and, you know, all that stuff. Just for the cool element of it, really and truthfully. Like, but me and Benji was talking about all of that one day going down the interstate, and I said, "You know, there was never an instrument in my house until I was 16. I said, "You know," and I didn't pick it up till I was 19 or 20. But I wonder if that would have been different if there would have been one there earlier.
Yeah.
And Benji was like, "Why don't we offer that up for somebody else? Like, why don't we provide that opportunity for somebody else?" And of course, you can't do it for everybody. So we kind of just talked it out and worked out all the kinks on it and brought the idea to Paul. And Paul's like, at the time, you had a guy in Texas?
Talking about Walden?
Yep.
Walden was out in, I think, Washington State.
Washington State. I couldn't remember. Anyway, so they were in Washington State, and they were a smaller guitar company, but he knew the owner because of him building guitars and owning a guitar store and all the stuff. He had a connection there. And we told the guy what we were trying to do, and he was like, "We'll cut you a discounted price, being that you're going to order so many of them, and we'll sell them to you." And then, so we started buying the guitars from him, and I think the tariffs have kind of...
It hurt that a little bit.
Yeah,
but
it
we're
hurt,
still good to go.
hurt that a little bit, but we're picking back up with them. We had to rework some stuff for a little bit, so we've give away some different guitars in the mix of all of that. But we started picking a kid out at every show, and we do an acoustic break where I play a song by myself. Benji comes up and plays a song or two with me, and then we bring the band back up, you know. But during that acoustic break, we send Barnett, and Barnett, we call him Uncle B.
Uncle B.
We send Uncle B
Great picking skills.
we send Uncle B into the crowd to find a kid. And it's kind of weird because, I could imagine as a parent, it would be creepy. This older guy with his Jeffrey Dahmer glasses and his white afro comes out.
Hey, you don't say that about him, man.
I love him, but
Not on radio.
I ain't lying either. So he goes out and he picks a kid, and they come up, and I think, does he explain to the parents or no? I don't even know I don't know how that process works. I'm always
Hey,
on
come
stage.
with me, kid.
Hey, grab a kid by the hand and take off running. But anyway, they wind up on stage. We give them a guitar, and it don't cost them anything. We buy the guitars and just give them away. And the whole idea of that is if we can put that guitar in a kid's hands earlier than I had the opportunity to get one, then maybe it speeds up the process. I've got friends now that I found out that have been playing since they were 6, 7 years old, and they'll play circles around me.
Yep.
And it's just those, I mean, they've got a 10-year head start on me, you know?
Yeah, that's
and so
cool.
it's one of those things of if we can give a kid that 10-year head start, what's to say that one of those kids gets that free guitar and somewhere down the road they become something serious, and we had a chance to spark that in their life, you know?
Dude, I think it's awesome. I think it's a great idea, and I think it's realistic. I mean, you know, just like I was telling you, like you don't really recognize too how many musicians are around you, like just in an area. Like you always think the big guys, right? Like Zach Browns or whoever it is, and you just don't think like music is it's like the pulse of, you know, life. There's so many people that are messing around, whatever, playing the tuba or whatever. Yeah, give me something. Give me a tuba. I'll make something for you. But my point in that is, I think it's awesome, and I think it's great because a lot of, you know, just like sports. You know, growing up, we were sports. A lot of kids couldn't afford to play sports. I mean, it got ridiculous to the point of what it costs to play sports.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's stupid. Like it was free when we were in high school, right? You know, they provide you equipment. Now, I mean, these high schools, these kids are having to come up with, you know, $2,900, $3,000 just to play a sport. I mean, that's insane.
Yep.
You know, so music, same way. You know, you get a decent guitar or whatever, it's pretty good. So Paul's a guitar maker, so pretty amazing, by the way. Pretty amazing. I mean, I'd like to do something with you guys to help with that, even if it was a giveaway online or something. I mean, we'd love to do that. Part of like what we're doing with band groupies. We'd be happy to help do that online or ship somebody a guitar that can't make it to the concert or whatever it may be. We'd love to.
We could do that.
Yeah,
I'd be
that'd be
willing
cool.
to do it for sure.
So, what do you think, Paul?
I'm down for it. I'm down for it. I mean, we opened a music store in a town that the local small music store shut down. So the year before COVID, and it's been a huge staple in the community, and a lot of it's just a younger crowd that's coming out of their house and picking up instruments. I mean, that's how we all ended up starting. Is somebody gave us a guitar, or somebody bought us a guitar.
Yeah.
So doing that back home and then doing this on the road, I mean, it's amazing. I mean,
Benji, I'm proud of you because I know you're ADD and you're spastic, and look at you. I'm proud of you, dude.
So
I've never made it. I've never made it to the guitar. I'm proud of you for hanging in there.
When I was about 15, I got kicked out of school for 2.5 years. And where we live at, there's no neighbors and no town and no stores. And I didn't really have nothing else to do, but I got a guitar and my mom and daddy's old records. So I didn't really have anything else to do.
Yeah,
and,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good story,
Put
man.
time in it.
Well, I mean, I'm excited that you guys came in, and I hope that
great.
like what we did before was fun. And you know, hey, look, we're in the McBastard studio. I mean, it's not Disney World. I mean, it is what it is. Trying to highlight people, and you guys have had, you know, some pretty much rocket success, and it's really cool to see, you know, you guys and all the good things happening to you.
Appreciate the invite coming. This has been great.
Yeah, and hey, welcome home.
Yeah.
Benji's right from here,
Born
so
right down the road.
we're gonna get him a glass of dirt that he can take back and, you know, put that thing on a shelf. You know,
That's it.
right.
you know. Well, anything else, like, what are you guys pretty excited that's happening right now that I know I can know if I can say it, but you released a song or sang a song that's coming out before, but what are you guys really excited about what's happening right now?
So,
on the road here soon too.
yeah, I mean, we're fixing to announce a dive bar tour.
Oh, cool.
And it's one of those things that, like, so I started playing music out when I was in college, and I lost my job during COVID that I had that was paying my way through school, and music kind of took that spot. And when I first started, and then when Benji came along, we were playing anywhere from 2 to 4 or 5 nights a week in any bar that would have us, any restaurant, any bar, anywhere we could play and make a little bit of money. That's where we were at. I mean, we did it all the time, that's how I finished paying all of my bills through college. And to get that support then and then turn around and get it as I started releasing music and then going on American Idol and getting the support there from that same community, it's one of those things of kind of like, it's nice to be able to go back and kind of do that same stuff for those same people again. You know, it's
Absolutely.
It's the same thing about going back and pouring back into the people who've poured into you. You know, I mean, the same people that the same kids we're giving guitars away to and giving back to the community there is the same thing that we're trying to do with this, as far as like, these people over here have supported us, and you go out and you play on the road for a while and it's like, all right, that's good, but we hadn't been home and played a show in a while.
Yeah.
And so like, we're kind of kicking that off. Well, it's next week.
July,
yeah, next week, 4th of July, we're going to kick that off. One of there's a little island, St. Simon's Island, down on the coast of Georgia, kind of where one of the first places I kind of got started playing acoustic, and to get to go back and do all of that again and just have fun doing it. You know, it's fun, and we're excited about that. We're excited about some new music. I think I said it in the intro of the song, but Issues fixing to, it'll be released in the next month-ish, 4 to 5 weeks, something like that. And then we're going to slip a little, we reworked Mechanic a little bit. We've done a little bit of different stuff to it. We're excited about that. I mean, we got to talking, we've started playing it in our acoustic break. We always play Mechanic in that period because it connects so much better there than it does with a band to us. And so we got to talking about it. I was like, why not? Like,
Absolutely.
why not offer that in a recording? You know what I mean? Because it's special to go to a show, but when you hear it at a show that way, my biggest thing with recording music is I want it to sound in a recording the same way it does on a stage. And if we can offer it to you in a stage and we feel like it's better on the stage than it is in the way it's recorded, then let's go back and offer it that. Let's record it the same way we play it on the stage and offer it that way. You know, if we find a better way, let's do it that way. And so we're excited about new music. And on top of that, I'm trying to think. It's a whirlwind.
Well, I can tell you, like, just sitting here, like, watching you, that's what I was saying, like, we usually do 2 songs, like, y'all just cut at it, just go, man. And sitting here, I mean, this is not a studio where it's sound studio where, I mean, I can hear some guy drilling down the road there. But my point in that is, like, it's really good regardless. Like, it's really good.
It's fun.
You don't
fun.
need all this stuff, a couple guitars and, you know, a Yahoo and a McBastard studio, and it sounds just as damn good, man. So kudos to you guys. And I think people like that. I think people like that.
I hope so. This is the best we can do.
Yeah, it was good. I'm really proud of you, Benji. I'm really proud of you.
It's lonely at the top, though, you know.
And that's why I wanted you guys, I wanted Benji and Paul and you, I wanted you guys together because I think this is important. A lot of people probably don't see it.
But like, what's crazy is like, you're right. People don't get to see we're in the bus or in the truck or hanging out at one of our houses or whatever that is, you know. This is what it is all the time. It's like, I mean, this
is it, man.
But it's magnetic, like what we've got going on. Candler, we got a friend back home that he's a business owner of his own, you know, and he's able to look, and you know, it's all about the life living thing, and he's able to look at running his own business and doing his own thing and supporting himself and building something, and he's able to see the parallel in us. Our own bit, just like Paul. Paul's got his own construction. He works the store and all, and we're able to all mesh together. And when Candler can go, he goes with us, and it's all these people that just look at, hey, this is how life works, and this is how people work. And we can all band together, and
that's awesome.
It's just great, and it's evident. It's obvious when we go places and when we do things. It's just.
Well, you're real dudes.
I don't know.
You're real people, and that's what I keep telling you. I mean, you know, don't be an asshole. We've all determined, don't be an asshole, and don't be fake. Nobody cares. Just be your. I find if you just be your damn self, you'll find your people. Great. If they don't all, you know, if 100 people don't like you, but 2 are, well, great. Those are the 2 you invest in, and you hang around. Screw the other 98. I don't give a shit what they think, right? But
I don't know of anyone that's ever really spent an extended period of time with us, like go out with us for a weekend or go to a show, that's had a bad time. I don't know of anyone that's ever got through and been like, I don't ever want to be around that, which I guess I would.
They're smart enough not to say nothing.
I guess I wouldn't know it if they did feel that way. They didn't come back around.
We'll get old Johnny B. Free after him. Where's old Johnny? Johnny's our hitman. Johnny B. Free's over there in the corner. You haven't seen him, but if you talk some smack, he's going to get on the ground and get you.
The Saturday night special headliner, JB.
And if you're in Nashville, the Nashville police, he's not here in Cumming, Georgia. We don't know where he's at. We have no idea where he's at, folks. No idea. Well, guys, I was excited to have you on, and it's even better to finally, you know, meet you in person. And you know, we're going to be big fans and supporters of you anyway. We were anyways, regardless. But proud of all you guys. I mean, it's awesome. Excited for you. Just keep going, right?
Man, I appreciate you guys for having us.
No worries, man.
That's right.
Well, that's it for Salty's live music in the McBastard studio. You heard it. We're going to get that can of dirt right here for Benji soon. But listen to Will Moseley music. If you haven't heard him, you should. You can follow Band Groupies. You can find Will where he's at in the band at all times. So support music, love music more. Until next time, let's go.